Hello everyone, my name is John Paul and now we are going to see the practical number 7 of our mathematics subjects. So the practical number 7 is calculating the Euclidean distance between in these arrays to find which has the most abnormal activity. So in the first 13 lines, we are going to load our user data into a 2D numpy array and define the coordinates of what normal average behavior looks like. And the line 16, we are using np.linearalg.norm. So this is basically how you calculate Euclidean distance in numpy. And now by subtracting the cluster center from the points and setting axis is equal to 1, it calculates the distance for every single user row all at once without needing a messy loop. So basically this simplifies our whole situation simplifies our whole operation of subtracting from each other to find the Euclidean distance without using a for loop, as we are just separating the cluster center from the points in the array, each value row by row. And then the final in the lines 19 to 24, we run a simple for loop just to print the calculation nicely. And finally we are using np.max, which finds the largest distance in the list, which receives the user behavior which is the most abnormal. So from this practicum we can conclude that in the comparison between some vectors and a cluster center, which has the most Euclidean distance has the most abnormal behavior compared to the rest of the groups, and which has the least has the most similar behavior compared to the cluster center which we are defining. And so now let's run the practicum and see what's its output. As always, we are using a Python debugger as well as a Python code. And then we are getting since we are printing out these values using for loop, we are getting a distance of each point from the cluster center. And for the point 2 comma 3 is 2.2361, and 5 comma 4 is 1, and 1 comma 1 is for 4.2426, and for the point 6 comma 8 it's 4.4721, and 3 comma 5 is the 1.4142. So we can the maximum distance is 4.4721. See, you might wonder why the maximum distance has a different number of decimal points compared to the distance which we have printed earlier. So in the distance we are printing in the distance which we printed earlier, we are using .4f to restrict the number of decimal places, and in the final maximum distance we do not use anything like that. So the maximum distance 4.47, so which is this point, which 6 comma 8. So 6 comma 8 has the most abnormal behavior compared to the other points when we are comparing it to the not comparing, we are connecting or similarity between the cluster center. And the point which has a distance as 1 has the least abnormal behavior, or most normal behavior, or similar behavior with the cluster center, and which was the point 5 comma 4. And this concludes our practicum and the topic Euclidean distance. And thank you.